in fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, sixth verse.
Ajopi sanavyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swamadhishtaya sambhavam yatma mayaya.
Translation: though eternal, with the character of immutability, and though the master of all life forms, taking control of my inherent source, with the peculiar power of illusion, I come into existence with form. So I am talking on a book called Song of God. In Hindu tradition, this book is accepted as a basic book explaining all the basic truths of Hindu tradition. You need to know a few things about the Hindu tradition. It is a philosophy-based tradition. There is no difference between the day-to-day rituals and the philosophy we believe. There is a very strong connection between the philosophy we believe and day-to-day rituals, day-to-day lifestyle. Even our business decisions are made from the spiritual philosophy. There is no secular and religious life separately in Hindu tradition. In Hindu tradition, only one life. Philosophy. In Sanskrit, we have a word called philasya. See, in Sanskrit, we say darshana. So even the word philosophy is not a complete translation. Philasya means the experience of the beings who had expanded consciousness. Their experience gets noted down in the form of a darshana, a spiritual literature which gives spiritual insights, and with the insight people start living. We call this as living enlightenment. So this book basically teaches living enlightenment, living an enlightened conscious life. In this book, the fourth chapter, sixth verse, I am speaking. Let me enter into today's verse. O eternal, with the character of immutability, and though the master of all life forms, taking control of my inherent source, with the peculiar power of illusion, I come into existence with form. It's so beautiful. The unique concept of Hinduism is explained in this truth. It's very nice chance for this Mount SCC College student also to learn what is something unique only to Hinduism. In this verse, Bhagavan describes the principle of incarnation. See, yesterday, Krishna described what is reincarnation. Please understand. The principle of birth and death. As I said, every time you start responding in a new way to a problem or situation or crisis, you take new birth. You live many times in one body, many minds, In one mind, many bodies. Sometimes you are stuck with one mental pattern. Without coming out of it, you spend janmas after janmas after janmas. Lives after lives after lives. Same way, sometimes within one body, you go through so many minds. I tell you, best use of time is within one body, go through all types of minds. That's best use of time. Don't waste cosmic time. People ask me, Swamiji, how do I know I am growing spiritually? Spiritual growth is happening. Understand, once in a while when you look back, you feel, God, 6 years before how I was, how I used to respond to every situation, how my mental patterns were. Now see how I am. When you look back in your life, God, 6 years before how I used to respond. Some people, why 6 years? Even 3 years before how I used to respond, how I used to behave. See now how I am. There are some people, why 3 years? 1 year before, how I used to respond, now how I am. If the period you feel you are different and now you are different, if that period is coming down, your spiritual growth is happening in full speed. Understand? That period is what I call one birth. For some people it's 5 years. For some people it is even one full janma. Some people one full janma also don't feel, those days how I used to be, now how I am. No. It's all same. That period of transformation is what I call one birth. Today sit and do this like a homework. When you look back, what was the time you will honestly feel as your old personalities, death, and the new personalities have expression. If you look back, is it 3 year or 4 year or 1 year or 8 months? Look back. See the transformation period. That is what I call as time of one birth of your mind. One birth of your mind. One life of your mind. If all your patterns, you are responding in a new way, then the old mind is dead. One life of your mind. Actually, one life of your mind, when it reduces, your spiritual growth is intensely increasing. If one life of your mind, see, average one life of your body, 80 to 90 years. Your average one life of your mind, now you should know by doing this exercise. By digging it out, you should know. Is it 5 year, 4 year, 3 year? Understand? I'm giving you clear principles. When you sit, do the homework properly, looking in, not even one pattern, you should be giving old response. See the old response date, when you used to respond in your own unconscious way, Now, all patterns, you should be responding in new way. If you have not yet started responding to all your major patterns of life in new way, then still your mind is not yet dead. Still the period is happening. Your mind is only getting more old, not yet dead. See, major, I can say only 10 or 15 patterns you use every day in your life. Please understand. You may be thinking, no, Swamiji, you don't know. I use more than 2000 patterns per day. No, you are not that intelligent. Maximum 10 pattern. If you are really demon, you can be having 15 pattern, that's all. Not more than that. Not more than that. So maximum 15 patterns only all of you use per day. If that 15 patterns are transformed, if you are responding to that 15 mental patterns in new way, when I say the mental patterns, let me give a explanation. For example, when your irritation comes up, anger comes up, how you respond, that is one mental pattern. When your tiredness comes up, how you respond, that is mental pattern. When your lust comes up, how you respond, that is your mental pattern. Sometimes people become so unconscious. When lust comes, they respond with anger. When lust comes, if you respond with romance, you are at least in your natural state. When lust comes, if you respond with anger to your lust, you are in perverted state. When your anger comes, you respond in a romantic way. No. These are all the unconscious patterns. When your anger comes, you catch hold of that anger and celebrate it. Lulai, 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 ooh-ah. You came to rescue my life and you are my savior. When your confusion comes, you respond with active analysis. Actually, when a confusion or chaos comes, you should respond with tiredness and unclutching. But when confusion or chaos comes, you are active. I have seen in Indian villages, chicken, they will run around the garbage cans and dustbins. They will pick all the dust. They will be very active. Your chaos and confusion is garbage. You became like a chicken, very active. Not even ordinary chicken, headless chicken. You jump here to there to here. Boom, boom. Whenever your confusion, chaos comes up, respond with tiredness and unclutched mood. Whenever the peace and restful awareness comes up, respond actively and with actions, life. But whenever you feel restful awareness and relaxed, what you do? You just lie down and sleep. Now see how you respond. When there is a confusion and chaos, you sit and think, analyze, and make everybody in the world as criminal except you. When there is a chaos and confusion, whoever you can remember, all of them become criminals. This fellow should be hanged. That fellow should be killed. This fellow should be chopped. How you actively respond to your chaos and confusion. But when you feel peaceful, little restful, relaxed, you lie down and sleep off. You never allow that to sink in your life, celebrate your life. Basically, only 10 to 15 patterns per day you respond. If the 10 to 15 patterns, mental patterns, if you have started giving complete new response, your old mind is dead. Death of the mind has happened. Now the new mind is created. Lifespan of your mind, if it reduces, your spiritual growth increases. First time when your mind completely dies and new mind is created, the lifespan of that mind may be even 20 year or 30 year. Till you see the master. The moment you see the master, within first 1 year, the old mind's death should happen. Only then you are going to be staying with the master. Understand? Even if that much of transformation is not happening, then your place is somewhere else. You are not the person for studying the spirituality. First lifespan of mind may be 20 years. When the second mind is born, that is why you are called Dvija, reborn. After that, the second mind, the lifespan of the second mind should not be more than 2 years. Then third mind should not be more than 2-3 months. Fourth, fifth mind, and all should be only in weeks. The ultimate spiritual growth is every night your mind should die when you fall asleep. Next day, it should be new pattern, new way of responding. Along with your every sleep, your mind should die. The lifespan of your mind should be only 1 day. Then you are a Jivan Mukta. You are living enlightenment. See, God has made a natural process of killing your mind every night. Why are you getting it back? He has given you natural divorce of every day. But morning you wake up, no, same mind is very nice. Known devil is much better than unknown angel. All right, then be with the devil, what to do? The lifespan of your mind should be from waking up to falling asleep. That's all. Every time when you wake up, it should be new mind, new way, new pattern, new way of responding. Every night you fall asleep, mind should die. See, the deep sleep state, when you go in and come out, you should not be responding in the same old pattern, with the same old responses. Living in one body but had many minds is what I call soul getting matured. This is what is maturity of the soul. We all know body getting matured, body getting old, but only very few soul getting matured. Sometimes, very young age, But matured soul will be inside that young body. You will listen to very matured things. Sometimes the body will be very old, but still mind is not matured. The concept of rebirth should be understood. Concept of reincarnation should be understood. The unique truth revealed in Hindu tradition, in the Hindu philosophy, is the concept of rebirth and concept of pure consciousness taking birth. Concept of rebirth is like a soul getting more and more mature and assuming different bodies, and even in one body assuming different minds. This is the soul getting matured. The next concept, pure conscious energy, means highly matured soul assuming human body. We call them as incarnations. Avatara Purushas. In Sanskrit we call avataras. Avatar means coming down. Incarnations. Krishna is explaining the concept of birth and rebirth and concept of incarnation, avatarhood in this verse. He starts explaining in this verse. I'll expand whatever Krishna says about rebirth and the concept of incarnation in my next satsangs. Today I'll answer, is your position handed down to your son as a family's retained titles? No. Our tradition is from guru-disciple. Please understand. A teacher and student. I am not married and I don't have kids. And same way, this place is not given to me by my biological father. This spiritual status and the spiritual state is given to me by my spiritual preceptor, spiritual predecessor. My teacher initiates me and trains me and gives this experience to me. So now I will have to find the students who will receive this experience, and after me I will be handing over to them this position. So it is by master-disciple relationship, not by biological relationship. The second question, how long you have been studying Hinduism and can you ever learn everything? I can say I have been studying Hinduism from my third year, means when I was 3 years old, I have started studying Hinduism, but still I have learnt only introduction to Hinduism. Surely, I cannot say I have studied even one branch of Hinduism completely, and no one can learn completely everything about the Hindu tradition. We can only learn how much is needed to fulfill our life. I have only learned how much is needed to fulfill my life and how much I need to know to fulfill whoever comes to me for fulfillment. Only that much I have learned, not more than that. And can I know what I have been in past lives? Yes, you can. You can know what you have been in past lives. Maybe you need to go through certain meditation sessions. I can do specially 2-3 sessions for you guys through as a webinar, answering and guiding you into your past lives. So if Hinduism believes in reincarnation, what happens when food runs out? Please understand, food never runs out. No resource can run out. The Hinduism never touches the resources which runs out. Our lifestyle is never based on the resources which runs out. All our lifestyle was based on the resources which can never run out. Sun, water, the resources which never runs out. Only based on that we run our life. Somebody was asking me the other day, if the Hindu enlightened masters know about everything through enlightenment, why did they not design aeroplane? Why did they not invent trains? This is my answer. Please understand, we had aeroplanes, but which was running in renewable resources. We never had aeroplanes running on the petrol like now, because Hinduism never believes in using the resources which can run out one day. Always we built our life, we built everything based on renewable resources. If petrol can run out one day, we never touch it. We never use it. Which never runs out. We call them as natural resources, the natural energies. Vayu, Varuna, Indra. These are all the natural resources of Hinduism. Surya means sun god, wind god. Indra means intelligence god. And Varuna is water god. We use this renewable energy resources. Our lifestyle was based on only renewable energy resources. So there is no such thing as food running out. So don't worry at all. Food will never run out. And next question. Are there people that believe in Hinduism and another religion? Is it allowed? Oh, in Hinduism we don't have any bondage or binding. We have people who believe not only in another religion, in all religions. Please understand, Hinduism accepts many gods and all gods. We have no problem. We say every religion is way of life. Inside Hinduism itself, there are 6 branches, Sardarshanas, which are completely against each other. I tell you, between these 2 branches, there are more difference than between Hinduism and Christianity, between Hinduism and Islam. Between Hinduism and Islam, how many differences are there? Between yoga and Vedanta, more differences are there. So, we believe not only in another religion, in all religions. You can look around the temple. Each statue you see, each deity you see, has created one full-fledged independent religion. Each person, each deity you see, has created an independent, full-fledged religion. So Hinduism is practically group of religions. Hinduism is not private limited company. It is, I can say, group of religions, group of spiritual philosophies coexisting together and enriching each other is Hinduism. The next question, if a child dies young from illness, is it because they were a bad person in a previous life? Are they to blame? Please understand, I don't want to say if a child dies young from illness, he was bad person, maybe he doesn't want to live more. Not wanting to live more does not mean he is bad. So Hinduism believes in karma. That's a Western pronunciation. Hinduism believes in karma, which neither is good nor bad, just your wish. I want to translate karma nor as good or bad as your wish. So if somebody dies young from illness, it is only his wish. He is neither good nor bad. Nobody needs to be blamed. So, next question. What is a successful practice when a person is constantly doing mean or hurtful things to you? What would you do? Please make him understand. First, you tell him, you are continuously doing very mean, hurtful things to me. Explain to him. If he understands and moves with his life and not disturbing you, great. If not, take the next level actions like legally protecting yourself, socially protecting yourself, and you have all the right to protect yourself. Hinduism gives a clear method: Sama, Veda, Dana, Danda. In Sanskrit, it means first trying to be settling through understanding, peaceful method. Next, if not, make giving him the understanding of fear. See, first try to do it through peaceful process. Second, tell him if he is not ready to come for peace, he is going to be in danger. Third, tell him if he comes to peace, he is going to be in peace. Show the peace side, the greed part. If all the three are not working, go for the action to defend yourself, to protect yourself. Fourth step. First, just peaceful conversation. Second, showing him the fear side. If you are hurting me, it is going to be hurting you. Third, the greed side. If we are peaceful, we can be helping each other, supporting each other, growing together. Fourth, if all the three are not working, going for the action of protecting yourself. This is the Hindu way of responding when somebody hurts you, constantly doing mean or hurtful things to you. Next question. How do you retain good karma? Creating good mental patterns, right way of responding to every situation, crisis which happens in your life. So expanding in right direction and responding with restful awareness to every problem is the best way to retain good karma. What was the name of the book again? Oh, the name of the book is Bhagavad Gita. In English, it can be translated as Song of God. Hinduism, we believe Krishna as the incarnation of God. You can see the Krishna's deity. Your right side with his beloved is standing. He is Krishna, one of the great incarnations widely accepted by Hinduism. The teachings delivered by him, the God who is standing with a flute in his hand, he is Krishna. The teachings delivered by him in the war field to his close friend and companion Arjuna, this book, This book is called Song of God, Bhagavad Gita. How is a way we can come in touch with the divine? Hinduism very strongly believes, and I experience this personally, divine is inside you. When there are less thoughts or no thoughts in you, the divine shines in you. So if you can relax with restful awareness by reducing your thoughts or completely eliminating all your thoughts, at least for few seconds or few minutes, in your inner space, inside your mind, you can come in touch with the divine. Next question. Are animals considered our equals? And if so, can they also change forms in death and become more divine? In Hinduism, animals are considered as equals, and they can change forms in death and become higher level animal and human being and divine. The possibility for becoming divine is open and available completely to all beings, not only to animals, even for trees, plants, stones, rocks, everything has a possibility for transforming into divine. Hinduism is the most democratic religion. All the thoughts, all the truths, all the sacred beliefs, all the sacred sentiments, all the sacred experiences are open to all human beings and all animals, all plants, all trees, and all extraterritorial beings. Even the aliens are not aliens for us. Even the life in the other planets are included. Even for them, Hinduism opens the possibility of the ultimate divine achievement.
Paramahamsa Nityananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nityananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being, benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nityananda Dhyanapitham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore, and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. A spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga worldwide through thousands of yoga centers, an adept in Ashtamahasiddhis, mystical yogic powers, who has effortlessly awakened the Kundalini of thousands and graced them with spiritual powers, a dynamic young guru who is an inspiration for thousands of youngsters, India's most watched spiritual guru online, a beacon of spiritual light who has triumphed over the forces of religious terrorism and political persecution. Paramahamsa Nityananda is an eternal Kalpataru, blessing the world with the boons of material abundance and spiritual enlightenment.
स्वागतम् आनन्दानुभवास्वादं सर्वरोगनिवारकं वन्दे पापविनाशक्तं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतं नित्यमुक्तं निर्विकल्पं ध्यानलोकप्रदीपकं वन्दे शान्तमयं बन्धं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम् आनन्दगन्धसञ्चारं सर्वोपाधिविनिर्मुक्तं वन्दे ज्ञानालयं नाथं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम्.
Let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate, share and explode in eternal bliss. Nityananda.
Nityananda Dhyanapitham, Nityananda Nagar off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bangalore 562109. Contact 09742203311. www.nityananda.org. www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.